So this is Sasha and he's a successful guy and he lives in this big old house. And he decides to rent out this part of it as an Airbnb. People like the place. It's got a F-star rating. He's making extra money. This was pretty much a great idea until this woman shows up, Elizabeth. Now Elizabeth is a Harvard grad and she needs a place to stay and she wants to rent Sasha's guest house for 6 months. So she does, and 6 months go by and she asks to stay 1 more month and Sasha agrees. But they make this deal off of the Airbnb app, and here's where it goes bad. After that 7th month, allegedly, Elizabeth decides she's not going to leave. She also decides she's not going to pay rent, so Sasha's like, oh hell no. And he reports her to Airbnb, and Airbnb can't really do anything because technically they didn't book that last month through the app. So Sasha's like, okay fine, and he goes to evict her. Here's the thing though, Elizabeth's got that big Harvard brain, and she allegedly contacts the Department of Building and Safety, and they come out and they inspect Sasha's guest house and they find 2 code violations. There's an unpermitted shower on the property and Sasha didn't get city approval for anyone to live in the guest house. So now before Sasha can legally serve an eviction notice, he needs to prove that his guest house is up to code. Fine, he'll just make whatever repairs he needs to make, and then the guest house will be up to code, and then he'll kick her out. But then Elizabeth, big Harvard brain, she won't let him inside so he can make the repairs, and now Sasha's pissed and he can't just like bulldoze the door down. That's very illegal to do to a tenant. So Sasha's fed up and he files a lawsuit against her, basically saying if she's acting like a tenant then she needs to pay him rent like a tenant for all those free months she stayed, and if she can't pay the rent then she needs to get the hell out. But then Elizabeth, big Harvard Bray, files a countersuit against him, and she now wants $100,000 in relocation fees. Now at this point the fight has gone on for 575 days, and poor Sasha, like, I'm sure he's just losing his mind because come to find out she allegedly basically did the same thing to a homeowner before in Oakland right before she moved into Sasha's place, and she didn't move out of that Oakland place until they paid her a cash settlement. So Sasha has every reason to be worried, but by this point the news has picked up on the story and they're starting to report on it. So then one day Sasha is in his house, literally doing an interview with the news about Elizabeth, and he sees some shady looking guys walking on his property. So he confronts them, but they don't answer his questions. So then he calls the police. Police show up and they discover these 3 men are actually movers helping Elizabeth move out. So I guess all the coverage and publicity got to her, 'cause one day, just without notice, she just decided to leave, and of course, the second her stuff was out, Sasha changes the locks, and as of now their lawsuits are still currently ongoing, and all this happened in Brentwood, California. So shout out to California.